Hi, this is Dodger and you're watching my show. My eyes were like killing me this morning, like itched so bad. And since I get a message pretty much every time I do news saying, why do you wear so much makeup on this show? I figured I just wouldn't wear anything today. So if I look like a ghost, that's why. But it's also been like 3 weeks since we've done one of these videos, which is a long time, but I had a great trip to Belgium. I had a great trip home for Thanksgiving, and I'm very excited to just get back into it. Just do all the normal thingies again, so let's do it. For our first piece of news, since I know I'm going to get hanged if I don't talk about the console launch at least a little bit, here is kind of the wrap up. So Xbox One sold better than PS4 on Black Friday, and everybody was like, oh my god, the Xbox One outsold the PS4 and the Xbox 360 outsold the PS4, like whoa, like it's doing so much better than PlayStation. But then in the UK, the PlayStation 4 had the best launch of any other console ever in UK history. So it's kind of like, they're both doing good, guys. The PSP was actually the previous title holder in the UK, which I think is hilarious. I'm like, why? Why? I mean, that's great. Like, apparently the UK loves PlayStation, which balances it out because America loves the Xbox, so got kind of like a good thing going here. But I think one of the reasons why everybody was so up in arms about none of these stats are accurate is because PlayStation only launched in North America, and then Xbox launched in a few spatterings of countries. So regardless, the number of sales were not equal. They weren't even in terms of the general world. I was trying to figure out a good way to say that and I just couldn't figure it out. So world. The world works. I think that's what we're gonna go with. But you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's arguing about it over whether or not the Xbox is doing better than the PlayStation 4. And really, the people that it matters to most, whether or not one is winning, is Microsoft and Sony. Those are the people who should care a lot about which one is winning. For us, it's much better just to know that they are somewhat even, because when companies still feel competitive with each other is when we get the best outcome. We get all of the best things coming to us because they're going to constantly be trying to outdo each other and give us something better. So I don't care who's winning. I do not care whatsoever. What I care about is whether or not they are staying even-ish with each other. And I'd really like the power to just constantly kind of shift back and forth a little bit so that they're both a little bit nervous. I like that. And now I'm gonna talk about Monster Hunter because I want to. So there. So Monster Hunter 4 has sold over 4 million copies at this point. It has been out for 7 weeks. That's it. Blows my mind. This is only in Japan. This is retail in Japan. We don't know whether or not it's coming to the West, but it's doing well enough that it would blow my mind if I didn't. I honestly don't know how well Monster Hunter 3 and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and all of that have done in the West comparatively, or whether or not we met their expectations, but everyone that I know that plays it loves it. So I would really be surprised if we didn't get it. Across the series, by the way, read this today, across the series in general, they have sold over 28 million copies of their games. Like, this is doing pretty well. And guys, no more water battles. There are no water battles in Monster Hunter 4. Does that blow your mind? No water battles. I want it. I want that in my life so badly. Every time I have to fight in the water, I'm just like, maybe I'll just quit this game. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the end. I look kind of like an alien. Got like this light going on. I feel like I'm in Twilight. Oh no, I'm in sun. You found out. Look at all the sparkles. Whoops, I'm a vampire. Don't worry guys, my soft boxes are on the way. Finally. I called them up, I was like, where are my soft boxes? And by the way, where's my lav microphone? It's like the universe just doesn't want me to have a show that makes any sense. You're just like, you can use natural light for the rest of your life. And I'm like, no, I refuse. I remember way back when Microsoft was like, look guys, every retail version of the Xbox One is also a dev kit. Does that blow your mind? And now, people are going into their settings and finding that you can turn on a developer mode in your settings. And Microsoft is like, no, 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 don't do that. No, 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 it can make your whole console unusable. Just go back to system settings, just don't use that. Oh, but you said it was dev I want to use it as a dev kit. Okay, so here's what they said to Engadget. Changing the settings in this menu is only intended for developers for Xbox One, and this alone does not turn the console into a dev kit. They also, like I said, highly encourage people to restore their factory defaults or possibly become unusable as a system. So what they're saying is the normal retail version of the Xbox One isn't actually a dev kit, or you need something else for it to be a dev kit. I don't understand. What I do know is maybe you shouldn't be putting something in settings that could potentially destroy your machine? Question mark? Like, that's what I don't get. Telling people, no, reverse that, otherwise it could turn into a brick. I'm like, what? Why? How? How does that happen? Why would you have something in settings that you can turn on that can just destroy your machine? What? Disguise our self-destruct button as dev kit settings. They'll never know. The Heroes of Dragon Age mobile game is now out on iOS and Android. This is an actual legit Dragon Age game. Dragon Age Inquisition doesn't come out until fall 2014, so this is like filler. This is a filler game. It's part strategy, part collectible card game, part RPG. So basically the way that they're saying that it works, I haven't played it yet, so that's why I'm using these vague terms. But basically you can buy or find these different cards that represent different heroes, and then you can choose which heroes you want to take into battle with you, and then the battle itself is automatic. So the game figures out which side would win based on where you placed your certain heroes and what those heroes can do, and then it just plays out the whole battle for you, and it's just over. So there isn't any turn-based element to it, really. It's just setup. I actually really like games like that because the turn-based part of strategy games is where I'm really bad. So basically I'm bad at strategy games is what I'm saying. But yeah, it sounds like it could be a fun game. I'm not convinced that people who love Dragon Age are going to love this, but I could see it working in the reverse, where people that love mobile games, if this turns out to be a good mobile game, will play this and then be like, oh, this is part of like a bigger franchise. Maybe I should check out the other Dragon Age games, right? But I would be shocked. I would be really shocked if there was a huge amount of people who play the other Dragon Age games that were like, I'm gonna play this thing. Boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. So how shocked would you be if there was a Last of Us movie? Not shocked at all? I know, right? Me too. So through another company, Sony registered two domain names, lastofusmovie.net and lastofusmovie.com. Does this mean for sure that they are going to make a movie? No. Big companies like Sony are very smart about their future. They like to make sure that anything associated with their intellectual property is absolutely theirs, because who knows what the future holds, right? So the Last of Us game does amazingly well. It makes sense for them to say, what if this could be a movie at some point? It doesn't mean it's gonna happen right now. They're planning for the future. But it does mean that they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it could happen. I don't know, I guess like the best way to put it would be that companies do things to protect the option rather than the actual intention. But hey, insert Ellen Page joke here. Look at that, I didn't even have to write one. You all know the joke. You can all just create the joke for yourself, and some of you made it flawless, hilarious joke telling, and for some of you it was like wah wah, but the joke was still there. As a final bit of news, some of you probably remember back in 2011 when the PlayStation Network was literally shut down. Well, ever since then, people who use PlayStations have been kind of edgy, kind of just waiting for some sort of a security problem to happen again, and it has happened on the PlayStation 4. Not in like a big way, not in another we're gonna shut everything down, everything is falling apart sort of way, but a lot of people came onto PlayStation Network and realized that they were being asked for a password reset. They're like, what's this about? Well, it turns out that there were quite a few people that looked at their statements and saw that they had inexplicably spent hundreds of dollars on games when they had not. They are calling this irregular activity this time. Last time it was called external intrusion, which is a bit more obvious as to what's actually going on, but I mean they have former Homeland Security working there now. So I bet that a lot of things there in terms of security has changed, but it's just kind of like a bummer that this sort of stuff is still happening. I know a lot of people who have had both Xbox Live and PlayStation Network for a long time, and as much as people love PlayStation, the people who have Xbox Live have said they've never had a problem like this. PlayStation Plus is an amazing program. You get lots of free games, it's fantastic, but their system is constantly hacked into, and I don't know why that happens. But anywho, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. 3 weeks later, so excited that we're back to it. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope that you guys had an amazing week, an amazing 3 weeks, and I will see you again on Saturday. Bye-bye!